Quantum healing, the future of medicine.
So it's a series of, this is grade 1, and you have arithmetic, you have reading, PE, painting class, I don't know, those basic things. And you're tested to see how well you're doing in them. If you're not doing well, you need extra help. If you're doing fabulous, well, that's great. You get an A, and I remember a little gold star or whatever. That was what I liked, was the little gold star. And how successful your business is. We're talking spirituality here. I think Christ was the one that said it's about as easy for a rich man to get through the eye of a needle as a camel. The ego gets so fed, and the luxurious living is so tempting, and it takes you away from the humbleness and the depth of spirituality. You're more into the prestige and what people think of you and what they think of your partner and how much money you made and how much more you can make. I mean, it's a very materialistic, selfish life to live that is really not going to progress you that far in spirituality. And again, it's got nothing to do with money, because I know very spiritual people, if you're very, very spiritual, you can manifest any money you want, literally. As you go up in frequency, you can manifest anything. But mostly people won't choose to do that. The very spiritual, although they have those abilities that they can do that, they can manifest great riches if they wanted to, and live in palaces if they wanted to, because they're such high frequency. They bring that creativity of creator with them, and therefore they can create virtually anything. But they don't get trapped in that. That's the difference. So there's a big difference to seeing people trapped in that lifestyle and trying to control other people. You can't control anyone in this world. This is a free world. It's a birthright that comes from Creator. We have absolute freedom. Cannot touch the soul whatsoever. Not even Lucifer or any Satan or any demon can do that. They can try to capture it and hold you back and sabotage you and use other people to manipulate you. They do all that stuff. But at the end of the day, they can't stop the soul doing whatever it wants. It is absolute freedom. So you need to understand that we are not humans having a spiritual experience. We're spirit beings having a human experience to see what this is like and how well we do. Now, I will say this is a very low vibration. It's very, very difficult for high vibration beings to come here and assimilate with this energy. It's extremely difficult because it's so raw and so undeveloped. It's very distasteful. But most of the light workers have volunteered to be here to help other people, to pull them back up out of this sort of garbage zone and get them into the higher frequencies. So this is a fantastic opportunity. It's not, oh my God, it's another lifetime. It's also, oh my God, this is the only life I have, and there's nothing after death. It's you live your life. I mean, that is a very desert way of thinking, and not true at all. I mean, the universe is just filled with life and frequencies and different experiences and beings, and my God, I mean, this is so limited that you want to get out there. But I will share the secret on why people want this low life, and it is a low life, that when you experience this, and people will line up, literally souls will line up to get the opportunity to be in this lifetime, because this lifetime is very short. It's really in the eyes of eternity. It's not, maybe not even a blink of an eye, and it's over. But it did give you the opportunity at life, instead of living in these higher frequencies where you can't really achieve it, you can achieve much slower. In other words, any negative karma you would have, let's say, past lives, you did some things and then they sort of collect them. You can't possibly do them all in one lifetime. So they sort of hold them in a storage unit, and then when you come into a lifetime, you'll get some bad karma, you'll get some of your good karma, and so they sort of balance it out. It's not all bad and it's not all good. This is the way they they prepare you to come into this life. Now, if you decide, and you can decide after a lifetime that you don't ever want to come back to this garbage heap, then you can request that you spend the rest of your life in a little bit higher dimensions than here. It won't be much higher because you won't be compatible for very high frequencies, but you can go higher than this. But burning that negative karma, which here would maybe take you 50, 60, maybe 70 years, is going to take you 500 years in the next dimension up. Time works differently there, and it takes hundreds of years to burn the same karma. So which would you rather have? You can burn this amount of karma in 60, 70 years or less, or you can go into a more peaceful place, but it's going to take you 500 years. No one wants to wait 500 years. They want to be done with this. They want to go back to Father. They want to go back to creative source. They want to go back to the source. That's our longing for everything. If we feel love, we have that longing. It's never for the partner. I mean, we come in alone, we leave here alone. We don't leave with our partners. Some people do, but really they're leaving separately. They're not dying together. You know, some that have been close for a very long time will die together as well, but you're still going through that process. You're coming in alone, you're leaving alone. And by the way, have you ever seen a moving van full of all your earthly materialistic possessions following you to the graveyard? Of course you don't. It's irrelevant. When it comes to the end of the day, all this stuff that we collect and this comfort that we live in, if that's what we focus on, trust me, none of that's going with you. Nothing. All will be said was, it was a wealthy man. It was a wealthy woman. So what? Did that give you any spiritual value? What did you do with that wealth? What did you do with that lifetime that you created all that abundance, which is, I think that's the way it should be. If we are spirit beings, if you look at Creator just goes and blasts it out and creates moons and stars and planets and solar system and wormholes and, I mean, you name it, people, beings, different beings, animals. It's constantly creating. It's in such a creative force, and we're a microcosm of that. So naturally, if we come into a life, we should be abundant, but it's not abundant because we crooked our way there. We're not abundant because we cheated our way, we stole our way there, we stole from other people to get there. There's plenty of that. There are abundant people that are just so naturally abundant they can create anything. And with that wealth, they usually do many, many good deeds with it. They don't sit hoarding it and building up more and putting that money towards nefarious organizations and systems that screw other people over. That is not the good use of abundance. So to be abundant is great, but to be highly ethical and moral and have integrity with your abundance is another whole story. And that's what we look for. That is the only way you improve in a lifetime. And that is why we live a lifetime, is to correct and balance out our negative and positive karmas. When those negative and positive karmas start to balance, this is usually when, the great masters come in for you. We call them the avatars. These are the beings that come to earth and will choose the balanced souls. They know who they are. They always say you will not find the master will find you. This is true. When the time is right and the karmas are balanced, the system in the universe is set up at that point, a perfect living, and it'll be a living master. Dead masters only tend to end up as religions, and it gets very distorted from that point of on, because you've got humans with there's too much cooks in the kitchen getting their interpretations and so forth. In the words of the only way you can really see the difference is if you really find out who the living masters were that came to the planet, and there's always one at every lifetime, so there's been millions of them. And usually those masters will actually leave writings and that they wrote. And there's some very ancient masters, and they all talk the same language. I mean, it's not, we're not talking English. I'm talking about they say the same things.